Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to Making Connections. This is your girl, Allie. I hope everybody's having an amazing day. As I look out, I see the beautiful sun shining. Maybe it's raining where you are, but there's still beauty in the day, right? You guys know we are here every Saturday at 12 noon and every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm excited to introduce you to a new member of our family, Miss Sean Clark. How are you today?
I'm great, Allie. It's wonderful to be here.
Yes, well, I'm excited because I'm excited about what we're going to talk about. I know that we've talked in the past, and I was reading over your bio, and it was saying how as you started retirement because you worked on a job for 30 years, and so as you got to retirement, you started thinking about rewirement. You know, getting your getting the place of health, being healthier because I mean, just because we're retired, right? We're still living, right?
Absolutely.
And so, but see, I already got excited. So I forgot. I'm gonna let you have an opportunity just to greet our family and tell them a little bit about yourself, and then we'll jump into the interview.
Wonderful. Well, again, thank you very much for this opportunity. It is indeed a beautiful day here in Silver Spring, Maryland, which is where I'm coming from. The
Yeah.
trees are in bloom. And yeah, I am taking a transition from my career as a broadcast sales executive for 30 years. Did that with a series of different broadcast entities, ABC, CBS, NBC, owned and operated. So I've sort of
Yeah.
run the gamut on that. And but my heart, my soul, my the thing that kind of makes me feel that it's part of my mission in this world has to do with health and wellness. And I did take a period of time when even when I was selling broadcast advertising to step away for about 4 years and learned how to become a massage therapist. So that allowed me to engage back with something that was really meaningful to me. When I went to college, I went to Harvard University. I studied biological anthropology and had a desire to become a doctor. My father was a psychiatrist, but my path changed for a number of reasons, which we won't go into today. But that desire to bring value, bring health, bring wellness to people, which I think I hold as a core value, remained. So I found a way back into that space through massage therapy, and then went back into the broadcast world again, and but still held on to that fire for helping people heal and become well, because I believe, and we'll talk a little bit about how this intersects what I'm doing now, that I
Mhm.
think people have the ability to innately heal themselves when we can get out of our way, um, with dynamics of stress, toxins that we put into our body, toxins that are coming into our body from the environment. All of those things create a dynamic where our body can't do what it's designed to do. So after I retired, I did encounter this amazing technology that we're going to be talking about. And so my rewirement allowed me to really re-engage in a space that I love so much. And I learned about it through a wellness center. And the owners of it shared it with me. And I was wowed by it because it spoke to exactly what I believe you can natively create value in your body if you give your body the right signals. So once that happens, and your cells get talking to one another, your body knows what to do. It is inherent and innately designed to keep you well. So I thought that was really powerful information. Can never do any harm, can never interact with medications. So all of those were, that credo, Hippocratic oath, never do no harm. All of that was part of what I found in this space that we'll be talking about.
Oh, awesome. I'm just excited because I mean, all of it sounds so amazing. I mean, I like, give me more. Because really, we're all, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. Sometimes we think that because we have a headache or because, we're tired, it's because, well, we've just been busy, we just been dealing with the kids. We just, but if it's consistent, it could be more than that. And now, like you said, those stress though will cause your body to react in so many ways. It does cause headaches. It does cause dis-ease in your body and different things like that. So stress is really major. And I think sometimes we don't give it the credit that it deserves and how it can, affect our bodies, right?
100%. In fact, I think, what kind of is a capstone on what you're describing is that sometimes just to get through the day, we turn off a lot of the signals that our body is telling us about.
Right.
We've learned, been given some information that, no pain, no gain. We got to push through. And
Mhm.
some of those things are, sort of generally true, in the sense that, yeah, you have to overcome, but that doesn't mean you ignore. And I think some of the information that our body is letting us know about, we want to anesthetize it. We want to take it away. We want to, you know, remove the symptoms. And sometimes the symptoms are the very thing that is our body knocking on our, internal door saying, hey, pay attention, before this gets worse.
Yeah.
So you're right about that. We tend to, and stress is a huge promoter of disease.
Yes. Stress and then not sleeping well. We think we're good. Well, I got 5 hours today, so I'm good. But if you continue to go on five, then it gets to four, then it gets to three. I mean, your body never has that opportunity to rest, to heal, and to restore. And sometimes we forget about how important even sleep is, and sleep really can get you to the lack of sleep rather can get you to the point where you're delirious.
Absolutely. Can make you
And
feel crazy, right?
yeah, and
Absolutely
you're like, I
crazy.
can't remember anything. I can't remember what I'm doing. And then there's another thing. This triggered your frustration. Why I can't remember stuff. And sometimes you need to sleep. You need to rest. You need to calm your body. You need some water intake. So it's a lot. Sometimes it's the small things that we need to do, but they make a big difference.
Well, that's right. And the symptomology of not being able to sleep, as you pointed out, can be dehydration. And none of us really are drinking enough water. Good quality water is, I need to add to, because it's not, distilled water, where all the minerals have been leached out. And now, you're creating, leaching out of those minerals from your body as a result of the water seeking those minerals. So you want to be careful about the kind of water you're drinking. You want to drink good quality water that has a good pH to it, between 7.5 and 8. So it's alkaline, not acidic, because most of us are walking around inflamed anyway. So that's only going to exacerbate the situation. This idea of sleep is very, very important. And it's one of the things that this technology, it has been noticed in making a difference, a positive difference, because sleep is where our body repairs. And when you can't get ample amount of sleep, your body is constantly in a state of disrepair. And and that's really important to notice when you're not sleeping. It's usually symptomatic of a lot of different things, one of which is stress, for sure. And
Mhm.
it's important to go deeper into it, not just start taking sleeping pills, which is, the
Yeah.
reactive way in which we, humans sometimes are wired, where it's like, let me just stop this from happening and start artificially creating, a way for me to go to sleep. But
Right.
oftentimes it's letting you know that there's something amiss in your system.
That's
So
right.
these molecules that I'm talking about are called redox signaling molecules, or cell signaling molecules. And they are designed, they're made from our body. They're in a place called the powerhouse of the cell, the mitochondria. And
Hmm.
without getting into a lot of the sciencey technical kind of parts about this, the most important thing to note about is that they're designed to amplify the signal from within a cell and between cells. And that's how our body recognizes that at the cellular level, we need to protect a healthy cell. We need to detect if a cell isn't functioning properly and send the immune system to go and repair it.
Mm-hmm.
Or if the cell can't be repaired, then there's something called that the body initiates, the cell initiates, called cell suicide, or called apoptosis is the technical term for it. And the body rids itself of these cells that can multiply and create disease. So if you're at the cellular level, you are able to create health, then everything's a cell in our body, from a bone cell to a blood cell to a brain cell, all of it is cellular. So if each cell has that capacity to amplify the signal, then each cell knows how to keep itself healthy. And
Wow.
therefore you're healthy.
And again, I think because we don't get this knowledge, we haven't heard of this type of healing that can take place. It's like once you get diagnosed with something or you think something is wrong, you're just like, well, this is my lot. My hair is falling out. My hair is getting thin. Well, I am getting older, and that does happen when you're getting older, but it doesn't have to mean that that's why it's happening for you. There's something that you can do about it. But a lot of times, like I say, we just think, well, that's life. We never really dig into it to see, okay, is this part of my history? Is this part of my genetics? Is this? And
Exactly.
I don't know if it's because we just go with that theory is life, or because we don't take the time, or what do
Well,
you
I
think?
think we don't know any different, right? What we know is we think of aging as a certain amount of, not even a certain amount, as decline, right? As breaking down.
Yeah.
And what I'm here to tell everybody is the good news, that the reason aging has looked like that is because we are losing these redox signaling molecules at 1% a year starting at puberty. So
Oh
each
wow.
decade, you're losing 10% of these molecules. These molecules, I mentioned one of the functions, which has to do with the repair, replace, and eject kind of idea of these
Mhm.
cells. But they also have to do with, as you touched on, genes. And genes are turned when you're drinking these molecules. We are now able to replace these molecules that we lose over time at puberty, as I was describing.
Wow.
And when we lose them, what we begin to see is what we thought was inevitably a part of aging, that we just had to lean into it and
Mhm.
or do artificial things that looked like we were forestalling it.
Right.
But if you keep an ample supply of these redox signaling molecules in your system, your body knows what to do with the molecules, and it can create a sense and the reality of aging backwards. And there's some incredible, right? This is greatly good news. And here's the other piece that's really great news is the genes that have to do with some really key health areas like cardiovascular system, the inflammatory system being maintained properly, the immune system, which, given what's been going on in our society, we are amped up
Right.
around our immune system, right?
Right.
Hormone balance, which has to do as women age, all of those dynamics that are happening. Hormone balance also has to do with some of the sugar issues that people encounter, certainly in the Black community, at an even heightened rate, right?
Mhm.
There's mood dynamics that are also seen in this gene study that was done in 2017, and gut health, which had plagues a lot of people.
Right.
And by the way, the gut is our second brain. So when we talk about stress, sometimes what we're able to shut down mentally, our gut is saying, "Hey, knock, knock, knock. this is still a problem for me. So
Mhm.
anyway, these genes, this study, it took place over a 2-month period of time. It was double blind, placebo controlled. So some people were taking just salt water, which is what people have claimed these flagship products are made of, when in fact they're actually made through a highly proprietary process that's deeply patented. And yeah, at the base, there's salt and water, but they've gone through a process that creates, and it has been third party validated that it's no longer salt and water. So that's why there was a controlled group that was just taking salt and water. And then the other people were receiving these redox signaling molecules. And at the end of the 8 weeks, 100% of the people receiving redox signaling molecules saw a increase in the genetic pathways involving those
Mm.
areas I just described, which again, if you look at the commercials that pharmaceutical companies are putting out, everything I just touched on is exactly what is plaguing society right now. Because as we age, we do break down into those in various ways. And those are
Mhm.
major systems in our body that these genes are pointing to. So when people found this genetic upregulation, if you will, of these genes, and each gene contains like 15 different pathways. So this is very
Yeah.
significant. And
Right.
100% of the people involved saw this upregulation. So what we're talking about is an area called epigenetics, which is where your genes, and we're not talking about the genes that determine your gender or your eye color, but there's so many genes in our body that interact with the environment, that have a dynamic around these stress issues that we were talking about.
Mhm.
You can upregulate these genes that have gotten turned off over time. You add that to the immune system call that these amplifying signals put out. And then the third mechanism that operates with these redox signaling molecules is something called um, the bringing forward or lighting up our own body's antioxidants. We know about antioxidants; they've been around for 40 some odd years,
Right.
but some of us don't know that we make our own. And so you don't have to use just the ones that are artificial. In fact, you want to think very carefully about using the ones that are synthetic, because they tend to shut down our own body's ability to make them. But these
Mm.
molecules amplify between 500 and 800% our own body's antioxidants. And one major one is called glutathione. And that antioxidant is called the master detoxifier. It's a master antioxidant. So we're also, so of the three things, just to repeat them, one of them is amplifying our own body's antioxidants. And one of the key ones is glutathione. So it's a major detoxifier. So we're getting our body free of the gunk it's acquired over time.
Mhm.
We are calling to our immune system to protect, detect, and repair cellular damage. We're also upregulating a whole system of genes that have to do with health. And so when you start doing that on the inside with the liquid flagship product, and you do it on the outside with the topical gel, you're going to begin to see extraordinary things happening in your body. And again, this isn't I want to say very clearly a disclaimer, where this is not to treat or cure or diagnose anything. What it's doing is allowing your body to do what it's designed to do, which is to help you stay and become healthy. And it's just phenomenal. These molecules are really well understood. They've been around since 20, 30 years ago, but the Nobel Prize was given for determining what they did.
Mm.
But the same Nobel Prize also said, they're highly reactive, they're fleeting. We know what they do, but we can only see them in the lab. And that's what a biotech company was able to do. A phenomenal team headed by a uh, a nanotechnologist, really, and a atomic medical physicist. I'd never heard of all those together like that. But that's what he does. He deals in tiny, tiny little particles. And so he was able to figure out, along with his team, how to stabilize these molecules. So now we can drink them, we can apply them, we can begin to put back into our body what we had when we were kids. And if you remember what being a kid was like, I'm 65, so it's harder for me to remember. You're a lot younger than me, so you could probably remember.
You don't look
You could
65
you
at
could
all.
run around all day, have abundance of energy. You could fall down, heal like almost the next day. All of those things is because we had a full complement of these redox signaling molecules running around in our body.
And see again, and that's a good analogy there, because we always say, if I had the energy of that child, or I used to be like that. What happened? Now I'm like, if I sit down, I just don't want to get up, and all those things, and you're just like, what happened? And sometimes, and I have talked to some friends because we are getting older. We are part of the 50 club, and we're like, I didn't think it was gonna be like this getting old. I mean, our parents, were they like this? You start thinking and start asking these questions and stuff like that. And then even with our parents getting older, we're like, because some of us, we'll see them taking medicine, we're like, I don't want to take all that medicine. Like, what can I do right now to keep us from having to do that? And I wish they knew what we could learn now. You know what I'm saying? But I love the fact that you said that no matter where you are, you can have a you can increase your quality of life. Doesn't mean that everything's going to go back like when we were 10, but at least we can have a better quality of life, and it gives us hope. I find that when you give somebody hope, that's the big thing right there. If I have the opportunity to partake of something, to test something that will make me feel better, make me sleep better, get rid of those dead cells, and in that gut health that you're talking about, we don't realize that a lot of times as we're eating stuff, it's just sitting in our gut, and it's our gut that's making us sick. It's our gut that's making us have headaches because our body is not able to process everything we're just shoving into it, because we don't care what we're shoving into it, how it was created, where it came from. And, it's life. We do that because we just get what we want, what we like, right?
Exactly. And sometimes it has to do with that stress that we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
We're eating not because we're hungry, but we're eating because it's to satiate something that's completely different that you really actually won't address with food.
Yeah.
But, the industries are all designed to kind of keep you going back to that Lay's potato chip kind of thing. You can't have just one kind of
Right.
idea. And we're all susceptible to it, right? So the
Yeah,
more
absolutely.
healthy you get, the more the signals will get clear, and you will be able to really, you won't be craving the same things. Sugar, you won't be craving. Salt, you won't be craving in the same way. So as you get detoxed, your body can really give you the right balanced information for how to live a great life. And it is simultaneously um, keeping your cells at optimal levels. One of the products is called Renew 28. It's the topical gel. And that 28 is describing where if you're having optimal cellular renewal on your skin, your cells should be renewing at 28 days, every 28 days. But as we get older, again, something that we kind of thought was just inevitable, you are starting to renew those cells a lot more slowly. So, it becomes 30, 60, 90 days. And then you begin to see the effects of aging on the outside. And
Mm.
it's the same thing. Each organ has its own cellular renewal kind of dynamic. But you can begin to make some extrapolations about what's happening on the outside, if you can begin to create more elasticity in your skin. And a lot of people, we could call it vanity, but I think it's also what makes you feel good, right? So if you can feel good on the outside, sometimes that's how people kind of have an aha about these cell signaling molecules. They begin to see something happening on the outside and go, wow, if it's happening on the outside, there's something that I know about that's a liquid I can take on the inside and start to make these shifts. So you have wrinkle depth being reduced by 20%. You have elasticity also increasing on your skin by 16%. The all terrible cellulite that we're prone to getting, and a lot of that has to do with toxins being stored in our fat cells. All of that begins to shift at about 16% when you apply it on your skin. This gel is also powerful for relieving discomfort. It was tested for skin by Stevens Associates, which is a Texas-based research lab, and Dermatest, which is based in Germany. And it's gotten the highest ratings from both. But we found out that you can use this gel for like 50 different things, and one of them has to do with discomfort. So you can use it 3 times in 5 minutes on a knee that's uncomfortable, or a shoulder, or other various muscular areas. It's great for first aid. You can, both the liquid and the gel, you can put on something that's bleeding and it stops the blood and begins the healing 50% faster and 50% more efficiently, because it's also bringing blood to the area 50% faster. So in blood is all of the mechanisms for healing in the immune system. So it's just this treasure trove of what these molecules do. And anything and everything is a cell. So anything and everything has the opportunity to get amplified in terms of the signaling capability and begin to make a shift.
Wow. I'm gonna have to listen to this again, because I'm just like, I'm trying to take it all in, and I'm like, wow, this is so this. And okay, so this is what I see in my head as you're talking and you're telling me stuff. And I try to kind of give a little illustration. So let's just say, we're at a football game, right? And there's the coach with the headphones on.
Yep.
And he's talking to the coach, to another coach, or to the players or whatever. But he can have the headphone on, but if the person he's supposed to be talking to doesn't have theirs on, or the battery's gone out, or the signal's not good, they're not going to know what the coach said.
Brilliant. That's exactly what it's like. You are 100% right, Aly. That's a great way to think about it. Just like a cell phone that can't do its job if you haven't charged it, right?
There you go.
It's sitting there with the potential, but until you connect up that cord and charge it up, it can't call, like you would be calling the fire department if you were on fire, and you can think of inflammation as like being on fire, right? You call the fire truck, and all the
firemen come out,
firefighters come on the truck. But you can't call them unless your cell is charged up, your cell phone is charged up. They just won't get the signal, right? And so they can't come and do what they need to do. That is 100% right. Or they can't complete the play, right, on the football field.
Yeah. So then you didn't hear what the coach said. The fireman didn't get the call, the firefighter, so your house burns down because you couldn't get your signal out. But she's telling me, what I'm hearing is there's something that can help me. First, we're gonna cleanse out all the stuff that's in the way of the signals. Then this makes the signals more clear. The signals go faster to the place it needs to go. We're on this play. We're going to get this touchdown, and we're going to win the game.
I love it, Aly. That is exactly right. And then you're going to try to make sure that these genes that have to do with keeping your body going properly, because genes are, the blueprint for health, right? You got cells and you've got genes that are interacting with one another, in the sense that, you're wanting to make sure that these genes that have to do with igniting certain proteins and certain hormones in your body are working properly. So they turn those genes back on to start doing what your body needs done once all these signals are starting to go out. And now you want those signals to be creating proper use of other facets of your body. So, it's, to me, that you've hit the nail right on the head so brilliantly. That's exactly right. You got to get out of the way. You got to clean up the field before you can play on the field. And when you're starting to play on the field and running these plays, you also want to be able to be generating things on the scoreboard, right? And the scoreboard is our systemic health. And that's what these molecules are doing.
And I'm completely, believing in it because I am a believer. And I know that God created our body in a way. I mean, listen to all the molecules we have, all the bones that we have. It is amazing if you look into the body, electrons, protons, all that kind of stuff that's happening. He created us masterpieces.
That's right.
And so, and he did give us the ability to, because back in the day, way back, they didn't have ibuprofen. I don't think. I never heard about them saying they had ibuprofen, but they were able to heal their bodies. And so, I'm a big believer, our bodies have just lost signal. Our bodies just forgot how to really operate in an optimal state, you know. So I'm a believer.
No, and I think you're back to the word you used earlier, hope. I think it creates a tremendous amount of hope for people to know that whenever you encounter these molecules and start replenishing what your body is losing over time because of age and stress and toxins, the ones we're putting in and the ones that the environment are kind of
Yeah.
bringing our way, without our even completely being aware of it, um, your body starts to respond. Now, some people respond immediately. It's phenomenal. They get this aha that goes through their body and they can actually feel it. But the majority of us take about 90 days to begin to find this equilibrium and to be able to get the toxins low enough in our body so that we can begin to have what's a dulled signal become a louder signal, right? And so that's what we as redox coaches encourage people to understand. You didn't get to the situation where you're meeting these molecules overnight. So have a proper expectation, right? You want to be able to understand that it's going to take time, that you are detoxifying. So there are dynamics that come with that.
Hmm.
Sometimes that can be uncomfortable.
Right.
Sometimes that can be surprising unless you're aware that that's can be rolling down toward you. But on the other side of that, you're going to have a tremendous benefit. You're going to feel better, and feel better in a real way, not in an artificial, I'm dulling things kind of way.
Right.
So, give it 90 days at least. There's some situations that we don't even know are in the background, and I'm one who came to these molecules from a preventative standpoint. I didn't have anything major going on, but I did have sinus issues that would crop up, you know, almost like clockwork every month when things would change, when weather would change,
Yeah.
moisture, right, would happen. And I could feel it happening in my head, above my eyes, under my cheekbones, the typical places, right? And inevitably, I was going to need an antibiotic.
Mhm.
When I shared this with the owner of the wellness center who introduced me to these molecules, she explained that I could be spraying the molecules in my eye, up my nose, in my ears, in addition to drinking them. And when I started doing that, and now I'm 7 years into this lifestyle of replenishing these molecules because I'll never stop. It's my body loses them over time, so I've got to keep replenishing them, right? So
Absolutely.
that makes total sense to me, and I'll always be taking them.
Right.
But within about, I would say it was about 6 months after starting to do that, I could see it starting to diminish month by month. But within about a 6 month period, I stopped having the sinus issue. And now I'm almost 6 years into no longer getting sinus issues. So that
Right.
was a huge boon to me.
Right.
Um, but mostly I love these because I want to keep forestalling things that I know could be rolling my way, right? I want
That
to
part.
keep being ahead of that curve.
Right.
And so that's really powerful. The other thing that these molecules do. And elite athletes, and while I'm certainly not an elite athlete, what I am is somebody who's very committed to working out on a regular basis. And what these elite athletes and what I, secondarily found out was that these molecules create an amazing ability to repair your body quickly from, even though it's good stress, it's still a stressor on your body to exercise.
Right.
You are doing micro tears in your muscles as you're strengthening them.
Right.
So what I was able to find is, in combination, drinking the liquid and applying the gel, I was doing something called, and am doing something called Pure Bar. And as I said, I'm 65 years old and I've been doing Pure Bar for about 6 years at this point. And what I had a trouble doing was being able to do those classes back to back to back. I would find that I could do one class and then my quads in particular were so sore I could barely walk up and down the stairs. So I needed like 3 days to recover before I could get to the next class, which is, no way to exercise, right?
Right.
But once I started taking these molecules and got to an equilibrium in my body, and I do drink between 6 and 8. The 8 is called the magic 8, and that's what the people in that gene study I talked about earlier are taking.
Mhm.
So I try to keep my level at about 8 so I can keep turning those genes back on. So as I started to get this equilibrium, what I also found was that I was able to take these classes back to back to back. And because I wasn't sore, and the reason why that was the case is because these molecules at a metabolomic level are putting our body into what's called fatty acid metabolism. And there's short-term kind of glycogen burn that we can use for energy from our muscles, or we can take the fat that's around our middle usually, and we can use that and bring it into our bloodstream and have longer endurance, which is what I could find. I had more energy after the class. I wasn't so exhausted. And what you're also doing is creating a more efficient use of energy. So you're not building up the same level of lactic acid as you would if you were pulling in, glycogen from your muscles. So what these elite athletes, these Ironmen, triathletes, these gold medalists are finding is that they are breaking records that they had when they were in their 20s, and now some of them are 60, and
Mm.
they're more efficient, more effective at this age because they're bringing these molecules to bear in what they're doing. And we're talking about Cody Miller, Brie Larson. These are gold medalist swimmers. And I bring that up because the World Anti-Doping Association is very strict and oversees everything in the Olympian world.
Mhm.
And at a drop, unannounced, they're being tested all the time, right? So they if they are comfortable drinking these molecules, you know that they are of the highest quality. They are creating no harm in your body. There's no toxicity. And in their case, maybe not so much, this isn't as salient, but I will tell you that they don't interact with medication. So, and in the pharmaceutical language, there's no LD 50, there's no lethal dose 50. So you can never be harmed. If you drink, more than your body needs, it just turns it back into salt and water and you urinate it out. So there's no reason not to do it.
No reason not to try it. But I like what you said that, you you can't, take too much, and the fact that it doesn't affect your other medications, because definitely what we're not saying is get this and stop taking all your medicine. We
No.
are not saying that. I want to make sure y'all understand that. But we are saying that you have options. We're saying, of course you would, if you reach out to Sean and people on her team, of course they will walk you through, the best way of, applying this to your life, infusing your life with it. So, but I mean, we have hope. And I love the fact that we have hope. And I love the fact that we can try this as we're weaning ourselves off of something else. And as you know, you're keeping in touch with your doctors and you're telling them, uh, whatever you're telling,
That's
you're
right.
just
You're
being,
communicating with them because
yeah,
there are 2 points I wanted to just underscore here that you're talking to, and I'm so glad you brought it up. Is that when you take these molecules, what can also happen is that your medication starts to work more efficiently. So that's why the communication with your physician is really important, because many people have seen in some cases that they're needing to take less medication, right? And everybody's an individual, no claim is being made here, but that's why you want to stay in contact with your doctor, because it may be the case that you can take less of what the doctor was prescribing to you, right? And some cases, people can stop taking the medication altogether. So that's why communication is so critical. The other thing I want to say is, in this world of, let's go to Google and then to Amazon and, look up things or buy things, I would suggest that if you're wanting to research anything I've talked about with regard to redox signaling molecules, is that you go to reputable places like PubMed, and put in cell signaling or reactive oxygen species or redox signaling. And you'll see, tens of thousands of peer-reviewed studies on this. As I say, it's been around for 30 some odd years. The other thing to do is go, do not buy it from Amazon or eBay. We cannot guarantee the quality of what you're going to get on those sites. There's some people who steal credit cards and put,
yeah,
counterfeit product up there. We want you to have the best experience. So it's best to connect with a full-fledged associate. We can help you. The reason I call myself a coach is that we can help you get the best result by engaging with you. It's a high touch relationship that we create,
right.
because we want to make sure it's unique, right? No people haven't done this before. So you need to be coached through that detox potential for you. You need to be coached through how much you need to be taking. All of that requires an engagement with someone. So, please reach out to me through Aly. Anybody who's hearing this and wants to know more, we have informational webinars that we do regularly, and I'd be happy to help you get quality sanctioned product to make sure you're going to do it the right way.
And I love that. That is very important because, like you said, there's a lot of people who they see something that works and then they try to duplicate it, but they're not really doing all of the, detailed research and stuff like that. And so they advertise that they're doing the same thing, but it's not always. And I like the fact that you have a coach that's going to walk you through that. A lot of times we just buy something we hear on TV and we just start taking it and we really don't know. And then there's nobody we can call and ask questions. And so I think that's so important, having somebody who can walk this through, and you tell them, what's going on. And again, and she's endorsing that you stay in touch with your doctors. So, a lot of times people don't do that. And so if she's saying we want to make sure your doctor knows as well, hey, that's a good sign for me. But Miss Shawn, I know that you have to get to another webinar. She is spreading this information to as many people as she can, because, and this is what this show's about. We're about bringing information, bringing people resources that they need, because sometimes, again, you just think this is life and this is where I'm going to be till I'm just going to keep deteriorating until I die. But it doesn't have to be to that level. So there are options. Hope floats. That's one of my favorite movies.
I love that too. Yeah.
So, so definitely, so do you have an email or something you want to give before you go, or?
Yeah, people can reach me on my personal email for business, which is called renewyourlife430@gmail.com. And that's renew, RENEW, your, YOURLIFE, 430, the number, at gmail.com. So please reach out to me that way, or you can direct message me, Shawn Jones Clark. I'm on Facebook. And I would love to hear from you and help support your journey.
Absolutely. Well, Shawn, thank you so much. And I mean, we're gonna have to have you back again because I was like, well, what does it do for inflammation, and what does it do? I have all kinds of other
Oh, I'd
questions.
love to, Aly. I'd
So
love to.
yeah, let's come back again and just continue the conversation, because sometimes somebody might miss this video, but if we keep reminding them of the options they have, then they're gonna catch one of the videos where we're talking about their options and their hope and their possibilities, and that signals for us to win the game, right?
Absolutely. Aly, I just love your analogy, and thank you so much for this opportunity. And
Yeah.
I'd love to come back. We have some new products that are going to come out in April,
Okay.
and they're going to be even more accessible in a way for people to be able to think about how these molecules can help your life. They're having to do with energy and mood, and also I'm forgetting the third one. That's so funny. That they're coming out and they'll be drinkable, and they're going to interact with these redox signaling molecules in a way that I think people will really get.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I appreciate your time for today. And definitely, we're going to get back together, because I just think it's so important to continue. Because again, repetition is key, right? People hear it one time and they're like, oh, that's interesting. But then with life, you forget.
Yep,
But we got to keep it in front of them. And so, and definitely, like she said, in the Black community, we have a lot of health issues that we don't address, and we're scared to go to the doctors, or we might not have the insurance we think we need. Well, hey, let's look into it. This might be our option, right?
that's
And
right.
so,
That's
but
right. And when people reach out to me, I will also point them to a place where we call it the redox movement, where they can see people who look just like us talking about these things. And I think
exactly,
sometimes that's where the skepticism comes from, is that you don't
yeah,
see someone who looks like you talking about these things.
exactly.
And it's really our focus, our determination to make sure we penetrate into the Black community with this information, because in so many ways, for historical reasons, we are in a down position when it comes to health. We have way more pre-existing conditions than other populations.
Right.
So, it's important for us to understand that we can make changes. That's not just how it has to be.
Amen. I'm excited.
Thank you, Aly. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and have a beautiful day.
You as well. You take care.
Thank you. Bye
All
bye.
right. So, as Miss Shawn exits the broadcast, I just want to say this has been some exciting information. I'm excited. I'm always excited about, because I don't like taking medicine. I really don't. And I'm telling you, I've seen elderly people, and I'm not just talking about my parents, but I've seen multiple, people, and they take so much medicine, and I'm just like, I know it's good for them. They need it at the time, but I'm just like, how is all of that medication interacting with one another? then there's side effects, and then you need to take another medicine for this. Hey, I have friends who are nurses and stuff like that, so I know it's needed. And at that time, I'm not, like I said, not saying don't take medicine ever, but if there's a healthier route to go, I'm all for that. So I appreciate Miss Shauna. We'll definitely have her back on as the new products come out. I definitely, before we leave, however, we want to show you some videos. There's an exciting event happening on tomorrow, March 27th, in Charlotte, North Carolina. It is the Wanye Smith Wrestling Extravaganza, and it is taking place tomorrow. And there will be, multiple wrestlers there, but there are two community leaders in Charlotte, Mr. Excitement, Chuck Brown, and Enough Said, the ultimate host. And so we're going to show you a video of what Chuck is saying about Enough Said, and we'll be right back.
Scared of me. He's in Buffalo, New York. He's scared of me. I'm not playing anymore. I am going to choke slam him. I am going to DDT him. He is scared of me. He went to Buffalo, New York in order to avoid me because he knew I was going to be here tonight. I am not playing with him. Sports Ultimate, wherever it is, I am not playing with him on 32nd Street. Sunday, March 27th is going down.
Okay, it's going down. So that was Mr. Excitement, Brandon Chuck Brown, and he said he's going to DDT or something, Enough Said, and I've been trying to figure out what that's going to be. So I'm excited about this little wrestling match. But Enough Said also had something to say to Chuck Brown. And so we're going to see that video, and we'll be right back.
What I was saying, Chuck, March 27th, worldwide, one year's worldwide wrestling experience. I came out here in the country, it's a lot of malarkey out here. Wait a minute, hold on, excuse me. Now, it's on and popping. I'm gonna throw your tail from one side of the ring to the other. I go to God I am. I came down here to let you know it too, Chuck. It's on and popping. Kick Chuck butt. That's what everybody's saying on the farm. The ducks are saying it. The chickens are saying it. The jackass are saying it. The rooster's saying it. The swan. Everybody's saying kick Chuck butt. So March 27th, it's going down like a disco clown. Your butt belong to me in that ring. You understand me? You better not have no excuses either. Like you got an ingrown toenail. Or like you got asthma attacks. I don't want to hear none of that. You understand? And you better not say nothing about, oh, I got COVID. No, sir. I'm going to come kick your pandemic butt. I promise with a mask on. Huh? Even if I got to wear a hazmat suit. You going down for the 3 count. It is 3, right? In wrestling, it's 3. It's not 10. It's 3. You going down for the 3 count. Kick Chuck butt. Hey, what's the motto around the word? Kick Chuck butt. Ain't that right? Kick Chuck butt. You got to tell you. Kick Chuck. Man.
Kick Chuck butt.
Kick Chuck butt.
Let me tell you, they have been cracking me up. And there's some other videos. Go to either one of their pages. They sat down with their managers, or at least they tried to, and work out some things, because the manager was like, y'all know y'all a little bit older, so we're gonna have some things you can do and can't do. I don't even think they got to it, so who knows what's gonna happen. But I definitely, let me put my glasses on so y'all know this is happening tomorrow, Sunday, March 27th. The tailgate starts from 12 to 2, and then the wrestling matches kick off at 2 p.m. and it's going to be at the Ultimate Sports and Wellness Complex at 500 West 32nd Street in Charlotte. Again, that's the Ultimate Sports and Wellness Complex, 500 West 32nd Street, Charlotte, North Carolina. The wrestling matches kick off at 2. And listen, definitely go to Chuck Brown's page, because I think he's Brandon Chuck Brown on Facebook, because then there's another wrestler on there, honey. Yeah, he was giving a message to his friend, but I couldn't get that video for y'all. And I'm kind of worried. I hope, because he's like, what do I have to lose? And I'm here for it. You called me out, and so this is what you getting. So listen, if y'all anywhere in the Charlotte area tomorrow, make it to the Ultimate Sports and Wellness Complex, and get there before 2, so you can get a good seat. All right, thank you guys. As always, we are making connections with Aly. We're here every Saturday at 12 noon and every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think we're gonna have one last commercial, but it's gonna be the CTA talking about making connections and what we have to offer.
Thank you for being such a wonderful listening audience, whether you were listening live or on the replay. And don't forget to like our Facebook page, Making Connections with Aly and Shay, so that you can get notified every time we go live. Do you have a burning message to share with the audience? Contact Alicia Johnson at info@aliciajohnson.com. That's info@ALYSSIAJOHNSON.com with your topic idea and your message to be booked on the show. And if you're an inspirational speaker or a motivator or simply seeking a platform to share your message, contact Miss Alicia Johnson at info@aliciajohnson.com. That's info@ALYSSIAJOHNSON.com to be considered for 30 to 60 minutes of weekly airtime right here on the Making Connections Network. Again, contact Alicia Johnson at info@aliciajohnson.com. That's info@ALYSSIAJOHNSON.com to be considered for 30 to 60 minutes of weekly airtime, your own radio show right here on the Making Connections Network.
Hey, hey, everybody. Again, that's what like I said on the show, we're here to make connections. We're here to give people resources. Maybe this is something that you've been thinking about doing, but you really didn't know how to get started. Reach out to us. Then we have people like James Sherman, who is with us every fourth Monday. So you could be like a guest expert that comes on once a month, kind of get your feet wet. If there's a show or an idea or a product or something that you want to have more information about, let us know and we'll seek out somebody who can give you more information about it, because we're here to encourage and give people hope, really, that life is worth living. So we hope that you've had a great time today. If you're in the Charlotte area, don't forget to check out the wrestling match. Also, if you're in the Charlotte area on today, Charlene Henderson, who is our guest on Monday, I believe, is having an event. And why didn't I look that up before I start talking about it? But she's having an event. Charlene Henderson, running for Charlotte councilwoman. Um, she is also having an event. It's a fashion show and also a fundraiser. Uh, Eek. I don't have the information of where the location is, but if you look on the page, there are videos there and probably flyers. But go to her page, Charlene Henderson, for Councilwoman of Charlotte District 1, and you'll be able to see that information to be able to go out to the fundraiser, support the youth in the fashion show. And so I hope that you all have an amazing weekend. Again, no matter what your weather's like or what's going on in your life, just keep hope alive, right? Keep reaching out, keep, searching out how things can get better, what you can do differently. And another thing, for um, if you're having financial issues, I have become a money coach, and so if there's things that you want to help with your budgeting, if you want to learn about investments, if you need even a part-time job opportunity, where you can get more income into your household that will alleviate stress, but it's income that you can do from home. You don't have to go on somebody's job and, work all night. This is a job that you can do part time from the comfort of your home. So if you need some of that, if you need some financial um, awareness or looking for a part time income, let me know. Reach out to me and I can help you on that end. All right. So, as always, again, we're here every Saturday at 12 noon and every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. JT will be with us this Monday, our guest expert. He always brings hope and inspiration, so make sure you tune in. And until next time, as always, we're leaving you with love, positivity, and good vibes. Have a great day, everybody.